Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. I say this much. Like I said, Michael had good taste in women. She is gorgeous,
oh,
y'all.
yeah, thank you.
Man, I tell you, if I was into women, yep, this is one right here. Here's the first one. This is officially the first woman.
What have I gotten myself into here?
Oh, you didn't read the bio for the show. Oh, girl, it gets rough, rugged, and raw up in here. But I'm gonna go lightly.
She's blushing, y'all. She's blushing.
I got her blushing. I got her blushing.
Yeah, we'll have some fun.
Yes,
Just
we
be
will.
Nice.
I'm gonna be gentle. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna be too rough now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna leave no mark. You're writing a book, Michael and Me. What is the driving force behind this novel that you are putting out?
It's already out. It came out actually on Michael Jackson's birthday, which was August 29th. So you can get it on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, anywhere where books are sold. I have a digital version, hardback, audio, all of that. So it is already out. And it focuses on my pretty much 20-year relationship with Michael. It starts out with me meeting him after one of his bad concerts in New York City at Madison Square Garden. I was lucky enough to get into this after party that he was having in his hotel suite. And I met him, and it was just like a dream come true. He was so wonderful and already extremely flirtatious just from like the minute I met him. Right. So I knew from that point on that, there was more than meets the eye with Mr. Michael Jackson.
That he wasn't homosexual.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Put it
I
out
never
there
thought
like
that. Even back then. I never thought it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually thought he probably put it down.
I know he. Come on, man.
He said he was bad.
On,
I'm bad.
The way he danced. The way he danced.
Okay.
Hello. I used to get into fights at school because people would be like, "Oh, he's gay. He's this," or "Oh, hey, Prince is better." There would be like,
right,
fights between Prince fans and Michael fans, and I was always from Michael. So, I was very happy to meet him and find out that he actually was, extremely flirtatious and clearly into ladies.
Right.
You can't fake that,
Right.
So
now you look like you would be a Prince girl, a little Apollonia Vanity mix
people
here.
used to say that, yeah. But I was never a big Prince fan. I guess because I was into Michael. It's like you couldn't be both because Prince was like really wild and out there, and Michael was kind of like Mr. Innocent, Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, and that was more along the lines of who I was at that time. So yeah, so I always loved Michael, and meeting him really solidified my love for him because he was everything that I hoped he would be. He was so friendly, so nice, incredibly handsome. He just looked like perfection in person. Actually, better in person than on videos and in pictures. And he was just so nice, and you couldn't help but love him.
Right. Now, did you ever meet Bubbles?
No, I didn't.
The giraffe.
I met some of his animals. I've been to Neverland quite a few times. By that time, though, Bubbles didn't live there anymore. Okay. He had llamas and elephants and a snake called Madonna. She was like blonde. It was like a white-looking albino snake, so her name was Madonna. He had all of these, and like when you would enter into the Neverland gates, and if he was having some sort of party, all of the animals would greet you as you walked into the gates, and it was like a fantasy.
Right.
I can't believe that that's no longer here because it was just so magical.
That should have been a monument. They should have left that right there.
Fans should be able to go
Michael
right
Jackson
now
estate
and go see it,
tour it, and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah, that should be a museum.
Well, I loved Michael Jackson so much that after he died, I actually Google mapped it so I could actually look at
the entire estate.
Did it have it there? Could you see it?
I had to look at the train. Yeah, you can see it. Because, it's probably an older picture when they did the map quest. So
it was amazing. It was bigger than Disneyland. That's how big it was. Anything you wanted was free. Like you could get any food that you wanted. Any movie that was currently playing in the theaters, he had it at his movie theater. It was just heaven. You can eat whatever you want. We're full from all the ice cream and the candy. Everything's free.
It's beyond what I imagined.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. You know, as soon as you walked into Neverland, he made you sign a confidentiality agreement. So you couldn't take pictures. You couldn't do anything. And I'm so mad that I couldn't take pictures because at least, you know, I have like a couple of pictures at Neverland, but not as many as I would have liked.
Right. Now, speaking of confidential agreements, how about in a relationship? Do we have, you know, do he say, hey, don't
sign here because I kissed you.
I don't want nobody to know. I don't want this to get out to the public because they're going to follow us. They're going to, you know, make your life a living, you know what?
Right.
Was that the case for you?
Not as far as a contract.
We didn't know anything about Miss Shana.
Well,
you know, Shana.
Shana. He verbally always said, please don't tell anyone. Do you swear that you're not going to tell anybody? Even just as far as our conversations, that's how private he was. He never wanted anyone to know that he had called or what we had spoken about. And of course, when I saw him, he always stressed, you know, you got to promise me you're not going to tell anybody. And I never understood why, because to me, if people knew this, it would make people love him even more. Right. You know, he wouldn't have
a beautiful woman like
that. We didn't know without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, you know, you kind of held back some info that got people out there questioning. But my thing is, so what in your book are you telling what he told you not to tell?
Oh yeah, I go into pretty great detail in the book, his exact words. What I did is I kept a diary from the time I was about 12 until 2009. So I have all of his conversations verbatim in the book that came straight from my diaries. So when you're reading the book, you're feeling like you're right there with me. Right. I go into great detail, what it smelled like, what it felt like, what I saw.
I'm sorry, what
you copy today?
No, I didn't bring a copy.
I was going to say, please read us a little.
You owe me big time.
Oh, I wish I could read you some.
Yeah, you owe me big time.
The audiobook, I am reading myself, so it's kind of cool. You feel like I'm just right there with you reading it.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, but people who have read it, the main thing that they love is that it's so detailed and you feel like you're in it with me. Because I was just like you guys, you know, I was this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, excited person to meet Michael Jackson. And then what happened is I got a job working for his manager as soon as I moved to LA. So that was like a dream come true. Right. So not only did I have this personal friendship with him, but I worked with him on his management team. So the book goes into detail about the videos that he shot, the tours that he went on that I was involved in. I was in 2 short films with him. One was called Is This Scary? Another one was Ghost. So the book goes into detail about all of the practical jokes that we played on each other and really how he worked as an artist. You know, he was such a perfectionist, and that's why he became this legend that he is today, the king of pop.
Right.
He was very dedicated to his craft, and every little detail he made sure was perfection. And that's how he was in his personal life as well.
So it was perfection. Huh?
Well, he was perfection. Just being around him, you felt like he was a drug almost, because when you weren't with him, you started craving him.
Right. So that could explain the stalkerism that they're trying to say that you were, because you craved him.
Well, you know, anyone that I'm in love with, I'm craving and I want to be with at all times. So
I've been called a stalker too.
But see, I didn't have to be a stalker because I worked with him. Right. So he was calling me every single day, like 5 or 6 times a day. There was no need to stalk because I was right there with him, you know. So though anyone who says that doesn't know the story and hasn't read it, so it's a shame that there's so many hateful Michael Jackson fans out there. He would not like this. He was so much into love and peace. Every time he and I spoke on the phone, we would always end it with "I love you" or "I miss you." That's how he was. So for his own fans to act this way towards me, someone who supported him his whole life,
and I'm like, what is the problem?
Not only that, but when he was going through the worst times of his life, I was there for him. You know, I was one of the few people who came out to support him and tell the world, look, no, he's not a child molester. He loves women. You know, he's normal. No. I was one of the only people brave enough to do that.
Jackson investigation goes right to the heart of Michael's sexuality. Tonight, the woman who claims she was the star's girlfriend comes to ET to reveal what happened during their affair. How would you describe your relationship?
It was a close, personal relationship.
Shana Mangatal was a 23-year-old receptionist when she first met Michael. She says the two had a 7-year affair that began in 1990. The King of Pop even cast her in his short film, Ghosts.
I will say that he is a normal man. He's a red-blooded man. He's very flirtatious. He loves women.
You two were together in this relationship during the 93 scandal. Tell me what he was going through at that point.
For someone to accuse him of doing something horrible, it just broke his heart. And he was never the same again after that. You could just sense a sadness in his eyes.
He was sad, bordering on suicidal or depressed or what?
I was very worried that he could do something because these were horrible, horrible allegations. And he didn't sound like his old self.
Michael himself has said that having children in his bed is a common occurrence and that there's nothing wrong with it. First of all, what do you know about that? Did you ever witness any of that?
No, I never witnessed any of that, but I wouldn't be surprised because Michael loves kids. He's like a 14-year-old boy with them. He's not like an adult preying on the children.
Did Michael come to you and ask you to come forward?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm scared that he's going to be mad that I'm finally coming forward because I've sat back for 10 years and not said a word through all of the other allegations that went on. But now I just feel that it's time. People need to know.
Shana told me that during the time she knew Michael, he married Lisa Marie Presley and that it devastated her. But when he got back from his honeymoon, he apologized.
It was so horrible to see him going through this. It changed him from this happy-go-lucky sort of guy to just someone who had sadness in his eyes at all times, and he never recovered.
Did you have a question, Cora?
Yeah, I was just really curious as to how you guys were able to keep your relationship such under the radar, but yet have this professional relationship every day. I mean, this is Michael Jackson.
Back then, things were a little different. We didn't have the internet, really. We didn't have social media. He would come to our office sometimes by himself. He would drive around Ventura Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard by himself. People weren't following him. There was no TMZ. He was leading a normal life, pretty much. So it was a lot easier back then than it would be now. It's just a whole different beast now. You can't go anywhere without people taking your picture or trying to get a selfie.
Yeah, let me take your picture.
Right?
And you were comfortable with where you guys were for the duration of that time, 20 years?
Well, no, I wanted to be in the public. I wanted him to tell the world about me. Of course, I loved him, so I wanted to shout to the world. He asked me not to tell my friends or even my bosses who were his managers. I wasn't able to really say much. They kind of knew. Everyone where I worked, they always teased me about him because you could sort of tell when we were together that we liked each other a lot. And then he put me on his videos, so that kind of
Yes, he did. Now, which video was that again?
The first one was called Is This Scary?, which was going to be the title track for the Addams Family Values movie.
Okay.
But then right in the middle of that, those 93 allegations hit, and he was so devastated that he couldn't finish it.
Is this scary?
So we had to stop doing it. What we did film is on YouTube now, so you can check that out. It's called Is This Scary? And then 3 years later, he called me and asked me if I would do this other short film with him called Ghosts. And it's like, say about a 40-minute short film. And that was released. And that's on YouTube as well if you want to see it.
Oh, okay. So now, as far as the family, have they had any negative from what we're seeing on here? But we can't really go by that. But I mean, now,
No.
because it doesn't sound like you're really saying anything too bad. I mean,
I'm saying all good things.
Yeah, Michael was a man. He was sleeping with this is one of the women
Anyone
that
who's saying something negative hasn't read the book.
Sex with, he had a relationship. It did not be the relationship that she wanted.
Right.
it was the relationship she could have with him.
And I was happy to take anything. I
Take
was in
whatever
love
you
with
can
him.
get. Yeah,
So.
I'll take it from 2 to 215.
But you, Michael.
After a while, it did get a little bit too emotionally draining. So I had to sort of
Yeah,
step
that's what I
back
was saying.
a little.
20 years is a long time.
Good friends. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, it was different for me because not only were we intimately involved, but we had that work relationship. So I was always afraid that I was going to get fired, if I overstepped my bounds or if I did anything wrong. So I had both of those things weighing on me at all times. And he had a lot of drama going on, which I write about in the book. He married Lisa Marie Presley during this time.
Welcome to the MTV Video Music Awards. I'm very happy to be here. And just think, nobody thought this would last.
During this time, Debbie Rowe. It was a lot. And
Debbie Rowe, I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, me
part.
either. But
but-
we won't talk about that.
Right. That kind of threw me off right there. I'm like, we talking about the same Michael Jackson, huh?
Yeah, but and that was during the time when I was with them, so he pretty much chose her over me. So that wasn't a very happy time. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a lot. And I think if you read the book, you might understand why he would do that. Now that I think back, I'm trying to understand more. But back then, it was extremely hurtful. It was very painful.
I've been through that too, and cared about someone, and then they marry someone else, and you're like that Vesta Williams. Congratulations song.
Oh yeah.
And every time I hear it, I cry because I'm like, really?
You cry? You seem like such a tough.
Oh no, I am a crybaby. I'm tough. I'm a Capricorn, so I go through all the stages and emotions, but I'm tough at times. But I break down. I'm not afraid to express emotions. I keep it real.
That's
So at that moment that I want to cry, I'm gonna sock him. I'm gonna sock you. You throwing me off right now. But yeah.
Now let's play some sad music.
Sometimes I cry.
No.
I'm a Cancer, so I'm
my
very
daughter's a
sensitive.
Cancer.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
we're very emotional, very sensitive. I love sad music. Like when I'm sad, I want to hear sad music. So that I'm more sad.
Yeah.
I just want
It's
to.
like, why you want to put it on extra thick? Because I need to go to the saddest point. Let me go to from the lowest to the lowest, and then I can rise back up.
Exactly.
So, if there's anything that you would want to say to Michael today, besides the fact that you love and miss him, what would you say to him? Because he's listening.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
I felt his guidance while I was writing the book. A lot of times I would have writer's block, and then just suddenly it would come. The words that I wanted to say, and I felt like he was guiding me from above. So I hope that comes out in the book. I think that his energy and his spirit is in there. And once you read it, you'll know him like you've never known him before. You'll know him in the way that the world should have known him all along. The real Michael Jackson, the human Michael Jackson, the man. So that's what this book does. And if I could talk to him today, I'd just tell him that, the world still loves you, Michael, and hopefully one day everyone will understand who you actually were as a person, and they won't have all of these false ideas about you, and they will understand what a great love and light you were to this world, what a talent you were. He changed the world.
Yes, he did.
And that we shouldn't take that lightly. There's no one like Michael Jackson, and there never will be again. And that should be celebrated and not hated on or ridiculed. I mean, It's terrible what they're doing to him in the press.
It is. Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I would say, where can everybody find you at? But I don't think they really need to find you. They just need to find your book, Michael and Me.
Thank
and
you.
that's at Barnes & Nobles. It's Amazon.
Yes.
It's everywhere. You guys pick up the book and read it for yourself. Maybe you'll gain a little insight instead of passing judgment upon a person. Anyhow, this is Lady Hourglass, Lady Hourglass Radio, doing my craziness. And we about to sign off, but I want to thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you,
Thank you
and
for
the
having
story you
me.
told. I really feel good about that.
Thank you so much.
you,
I had so
Shana.
much fun.
All right.
You guys are crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, we are. It gets worse. If you got here a little earlier, girl,
I'm glad I got here late.
Play the tape back and you'll hear it.
Yeah, he moonwalked and everything. All right, I'm finna get up out of here. This is Lady Hourglass with Lady Hourglass Radio, Accelerated Radio, and we out.
Peace.
Bye.